Hey there smartphone fans, welcome back to Smartphone Wars, the channel where I review in depth the best budget phones, and today I have a returning champion, the Nokia 6.1 Plus, the main competitor for the Redmi Note 5. So if you want to know everything about the Nokia 6.1 Plus, or X6 as it's known, keep watching and as always you'll find out. While the original Nokia 6 and 6.1 were a bit behind the trend, Nokia now aims to go full out and deliver a 6-inch phone with a notch, which is the latest trend, like it or not, but it also has really good specs. It has a Snapdragon 636, 16 megapixel front and rear cameras, and it does have Android One and USB Type-C. The Nokia 6.1 Plus weighs just 150 grams and is around 8mm thick, so a very light and very one-hand usage phone despite being 6 inches. It actually is smaller than the old 5.5 inch phones without 18x9. This is really something. On the back and front there is a glass panel, but it feels kind of cheap, although it does have Gorilla Glass again on the back and on the front. The phone certainly is beautiful to look at from a distance, but when you hold it in your hand it kind of feels cheap, as the glass feels more like plastic. The back of the phone has a rear fingerprint scanner, which you can also use to pull down notifications, but it's kind of slow and a bit small. It's nice, however, for Nokia to bring back the USB Type-C in budget phones, unlike Xiaomi. Now onto the display. The 6-inch display with a notch or without is still a very decent display. The IPS panel Nokia uses has really good viewing angles, very accurate colors which are saturated, and the blacks are deep. I would say nobody will have any gripes with this display for $200. It's a good display, but it definitely isn't outstanding. The sunlight visibility is a bit better than most budget phones at this price range, but still, if you're coming from a high-end AMOLED phone, it will feel not as good. And since Android One is a bit limited, you can't hide the on-screen keys and the notch if you want to, so this is a big bummer for me. The notch is not seen in videos, but it's still, they could have just hidden it. One thing is good though, it doesn't impact call quality. The call quality of the 6.1 Plus was superb. And now onto the user interface. The Nokia 6.1 Plus or X6 uses the Android One program, which is the most stock-like and basic version of Android. The updates at Google, this phone will get Android Pie for sure. It will definitely get the latest security updates around every month or so, but it's a bit brown on functions. Besides the ambient display feature, which the display lights up on notifications, and the fingerprint scanner being used to pull down notification shade, that is about it. There's nothing else. So for me it's just feature stripped more than feature rich, but you know, people like stock Android, and Android One is probably for them. All of you benchmark maniacs out there and gamers, we've come to the performance segment. Now the Snapdragon 636 in benchmarks is just as good as any Snapdragon 636, around 110-20,000 points in Antutu, very good Geekbench scores, and generally a pretty rocking chip and an upgrade in around 30% in performance compared to the Snapdragon 625, but not an upgrade in battery life, since it does drain around 10-15% more battery than the Snapdragon 625. But how is general performance? Opening, closing apps, well, I kind of have to say that I expect it to be a bit faster. There is a reason for that, and I'll get to a bit later. It's a very decent daily driver. It's I can't label it as a very fast phone. I can label it as a very reliable daily driver, but I cannot say this is a very fast phone. Once you get in the app and start to twinkle around with it, like with browsing, the phone performs really well. The Snapdragon 636 is a almost flagship level of browsing ability, opening, closing size, resizing windows, no problem for the really advanced CPU and better GPU in the Snapdragon 636. But what about gaming? Here's me running on high quality settings one of the best looking and latest games on Android. That's right, I'm a review channel that actually reviews with the latest content. This is Asphalt 9, and as you can see, the graphics are absolutely gorgeous. And I wasn't expecting this actually, but the Nokia 6.1 Plus can handle Asphalt 9 in the high quality settings. So you're getting really good graphics and very good frame rates. There's hardly any frame drops, there's no slowdowns, so this game is fully playable at the high quality settings. Really nice for $200. But all of you will be probably asking, what about the chicken dinner? What about PUBG Mobile? Well, when you put on the PUBG Mobile, it shows that the Nokia 6.1 Plus is a low quality settings, but I could bump that up to balanced mode, but can't put it any further. The good news is, once you start playing, the phone doesn't overheat, doesn't even get very warm, and it's very smooth frame rate at the balanced settings, and the graphics looks really well. Here's me on an intense scene playing PUBG Mobile, and as you can see, the frame rate is really good and the graphics are decent. I know you can use third-party software and apps to probably crank that up to the high settings, but I think the balanced mode, balanced graphical settings gives the Nokia 6.1 Plus very good performance, very good frame rates, and really good graphics. This is turned out to be a really decent gaming phone in my books, especially a little bit better than the Redmi Note 5. But there is a dark side to the Nokia 6.1 Plus, and this was the reason that the apps opened a bit slower. And this is the storage is really poor on this phone. I mean, the storage score is really low even for a $100 device, which means that apps and games will load a bit slower, and transferring larger files to your phone will be an absolute pain. And now on to battery life and stamina. Big display, big resolution, decent size. Battery, well, you get average battery life. First of all, for charging, you can get around 40%, give or take, with 30 minutes of charging, and the whole phone is fully charged with 2 hours. Not really bad, but not really outstanding as well. I did get maximum around 7 hours of battery life, but this is with no gaming. So this is only browsing and watching YouTube videos. If you turn on gaming, probably around 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. It's a decent, but not exceptional. That's why I say it's an average battery life. Watching around 30 minutes of full HD YouTube video takes about 6-7% of battery. Sound quality was pretty decent from the headphone jack, and the speakers were quite good as well. And now on to the cameras, and first the UI. The UI is fully packed with a lot of features, but it feels very clumsy and lazy, if I might add. And so those features are really strange, like the half picture-in-picture mode, which I don't think anybody will use. And that second camera on the back is fake. It's not being used. I'm covering it up here and I can still get the live bokeh shots. All that being said, how good are the photos? The camera quality on the front and back camera is very reliable. Very fast focusing, ultra fast shutter speed, and if you're in favorable lighting conditions in like outdoor or like in a very well lit indoor environment, the photos will actually look pretty decent. But once you step into a lower light territory, the photos start to get soft and the color reproduction starts to go to a more murkier, more brownish side, which I really don't like, and the photos don't look that sharp. The Nokia 6.1 Plus is definitely not a good low light performance with the f2.0 aperture and tiny 1 micron pixel size, but at least the flashlight is really good and actually is really accurate. And since the front camera I think is absolutely the same, it delivers absolutely the same results. You can check out here. If there's something that's really bad about the cameras, it's the video quality. Slow motion and in general the video quality is poor, it's overexposed, and the gyro electronic image stabilization is really blurry and, well, not really good. Even in perfect lighting conditions, video still doesn't look very good. overall, the 6.1 Plus is a very decent device, but the cameras and battery life and storage are inferior to the Redmi Note 5, which is actually cheaper. So if you're a Nokia fan, the 6.1 Plus will probably be a good phone for you. But if you want the best phone for the money, the Redmi Note 5 is still it. I sincerely hope you enjoyed my full 6.1 Plus review. There's a link to buy the phone in the description below, and there's also a link to buy the Redmi Note 5 as well. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel if you like the content.